guys, Anne Marie here, and today we are looking at another batch of upcycled embellishments. So this is packaging or household items that instead of throwing away, I'm going to try to turn into scrapbook embellishments. Things that I can use either on my pages or on cards. Um, some of it's from clothing. There's a lot from nail polish and some from like cosmetics. Some stuff is from scrappy purchases. That blue silicone sleeve we won't get to today, but that's from a water bottle. So just lots of different goodies. And here I'm just kind of pulling everything out, looking at it, sorting it. I've got a ton of ribbon. So I'm pulling all that out to the side. And these cool boxes that you see, those are from nail polish purchases I've made. And then I've kept some of the boxes from the individual nail polishes too. I originally thought I was going to chop the boxes up because I love, the finish on them and stuff. And that's why they were here. But instead, I'm going to use them. They're really nice boxes. Like they're really sturdy. They have a magnetic closure. But that's for another day as well. So here's what we're kind of left with and what we're working with today. I've got a lot of clothing tags and a little note that was included with a cardstock purchase and a little box from an Origami Owl purchase, some Disney Store tissue paper. That's like pre-pandemic tissue paper, people. I've been holding on to that for a while. And I'm pulling out some dies that I'm going to try to use with this stuff. All right, so I've gone through punches and dies, pulled out anything that I thought I might want to use, and now I'm going to actually start chopping things up. So I'm starting here with this tag. It has this gorgeous texture to it. And it already had like a pre-cut hole, so I just positioned my die to include that, so I didn't even have to punch a hole. And it already had some nice twine on it, so that's done. That was that quick. And then I just have like in my stash an iris case that's got tags in it, and so it'll go there. This was from an Origami Owl purchase, and it was a cute little saying, so I thought that would make a fun embellishment. So I just used a pinked circle die to cut that out. And then this was a cute little note thrown in, I believe by 12 by 12 cardstock shop. And it was cute, but I don't need an ad in my scrapbooks necessarily, but it would make a cute embellishment. So I'm positioned the die to cut off as much as possible while still getting that shape. And it doesn't fully work, as you're going to see here in a second. When I pull it out, it's still like the tops of some of the letters are still there. So my solution, I tried a couple different things. I sanded off what I could, but I was afraid it was going to damage it too much. So I decided to cover the edges. It's going to look like it's matted on black, but it's really going to be cut out. So I'm going to take a scrap of black cardstock, and I'm going to layer the dies so that when I run it through, they make a frame. And I'm going to have to run it through 2 times because the first time I'm going to make that frame really narrow on the top, but it's going to be thicker on the bottom. And so I'm going to shift it in order to make it even. See, now it's kind of covering up the flourish, so I need to shift it to make sure that I'm cutting out closer to the edges. And what's cool about this also is that I get a little bitty bracket. That's totally useful. I can totally put those on cards or something. All right, so then that just, I'm going to repeat that just to Make sure the letters don't get covered up either. This is fussy, you know, and this took some time, and a lot of people may not feel like it's worth it, which I completely understand. But it's part of problem solving, and that's part of crafting that I love the most is figuring out creative solutions, especially to reuse, reduce, recycle. I just really love that. So there's the finished frame, and it's going to be glued on there, and voila. All right, so now I have another origami owl thing, and I really like the little saying on the bottom. I just think it's cute. So I'm just gonna chop that off and notch it. And we have a cute little tiny sentiment banner that I can tuck into an embellishment cluster somewhere. That one's good as is, the Mandalorian tag. I don't even know if I'll use that, but if I want to, I got it. Here's another clothing tag. I really liked the stripes, and again, this was really a sturdy material, so I knew it would hold up well to going through a die cut machine, and we'd end up with something cute. So I'm just going to trim the tag down so that I can place it where I want it, and I'm using my tag die to cut out a cute little shipping tag embellishment. And I thought I'd get another one out of the stripes, but it just wasn't quite big enough, and I tried. But I didn't love how it turned out, and it wasn't going to be easy to rescue, so I let that one go. All right, the next one is another clothing tag. I loved that swirly print, and it was embossed, so it was cool, but again, I don't really love having ads unless the layout's about that. I don't feel like I want to have commercials in my books, so I just cut off the bottom portion of the tag and then notched it. One of my go-tos. All right, so now I am fussy cutting this pretty little holographic unicorn. This was on like a beauty blender package. And I love holographic stuff. Love the rainbows. And my daughter loves unicorns and holographic stuff as well, so I am certain I will use this. So I'm just going to fussy cut it out, and it will be like a little die cut type of 3D embellishment that I can use. All right, so there's the unicorn. So I worked on some little rubber charms I thought I would make, and it didn't work very well. It's like silicone rubber. It was a handle from that water bottle that the sleeve is there for as well. And I tried to put eyelets in them so that they could be little flags or something. They were just too thick, and I am too rusty on using eyelets, so I just crushed them and just smashed them and ruined them all anyway. So I did end up just throwing all that away because it was a hot mess. All right, so this is what my origami owl purchase came in, and I loved the colors and the pattern, the flowers. So I broke the box down. Now I'm cutting it up into pieces that I will then turn into various types of embellishments. All right, so those are the pieces I have left over, and I'm going to start with a file tab punch. And one of the problems I realized was that my scraps were almost like too small. I couldn't put them into the punch or position the punch easily. So I'm going to use some washi tape and stick it on the end of the scrap, and then use that to stick it into the punch so I can position it the way I want to. And hopefully this one will be better in frame. I've been having issues with my setup and being able to mirror stuff. It's just not working as well as I'd like. So I'm still problem solving that. So I'm out of frame sometimes, I'm sorry. There, you can see better there. So I taped the scrap to another scrap, essentially. And that let me stick it in the side and then position it how I needed to. Some of them are big enough, I was able to just do with that. And I usually, I like that you can fold over the file tabs on these, but I usually end up cutting them in half anyway because it's just bulky and you have to find a way to adhere it down, and it's easier to just have a file tab flat on the page, I think. All right, so then I used my label punch and then that bracket label die that you saw earlier with the rest of the scraps, and I'm moving on to the next one. This just had an area, it was a clothing tag, and that top area was like the perfect kind of fishtail banner shape. And I thought that would make a good kind of more masculine embellishment. And then I'm just gonna add I'm making it's actually, the hole was already there, but I'm just making it a little bit bigger and cleaner so that can be a tag embellishment. I'm just going back and gluing down the bracket now that I've got some workspace back. All right, so now I'm just gluing the bracket frame where it goes. And that's all I'm going to show you today. These were really basic. And if you're, kind of looking to start trying upcycling things yourself, I think these are like basic things that anybody can do. Just use your basic dies, your basic punches, and see what you can get. But I do have more of these in store, including actually using them on a page or card and showing those as well. So can't wait to show those to you and share those with you. Thanks again so much for watching, and have a great week. Bye.